Hello and welcome. The morning hours are often the most productive time of the day, and so it was for a crucial gathering between the Lekki Deep Sea Port and the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping, together with the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Gboyega Oyetola CON. They met to exchange ideas and chart new directions for the industry. That meeting is our focus on today's program. Our tidbit segment, as always, will also take its place of pride with updates from both the local and international maritime scenes. But first, we'll take a short break. Do stay tuned.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Welcome back. This is The Shipper, your indispensable program for knowledge about Nigeria's maritime industry, proudly brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council, the nation's port economic regulator. I am Victoria Yavala. The Lekki Deep Sea Port is seen as a game changer in Nigeria's maritime industry. Built over 2 years and 3 months from July 2020 to October 2022 on a 90 hectares of land at an estimated cost of $1.5 billion, it stands as a marvel not just in Nigeria but across the West African region. With the capacity to handle vessels of up to 45,000 deadweight tonnage at its liquid terminals and Panamax class vessel of up to 75,000 DWT for dry bulk, the port also boasts an annual container capacity of 2.5 million 20-foot equivalent unit TEU. Already, it has significantly eased the strain on existing ports in the country. The Nigerian Chamber of Shipping, on the other hand, is the umbrella trade association for all players in the maritime industry, from ship owners and barge operators to port and terminal operators. Established in 2002, it has grown into a formidable body, ensuring that Nigeria's domestic shipping industry plays its rightful role in both local and international trade. Today, it serves as a bridge linking government, regulatory agencies, indigenous and foreign stakeholders, and international organizations. Having set the stage with these key players, the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Gboyega Oyetola, needs no introduction here. Let's now hand over to Lucy Yambi, who presents the story behind the breakfast meeting as compiled by our correspondent Additional Abiodun.
The breakfast meeting themed Unlocking Opportunities, the Lekki Deep Sea Port Playbook for Trade and Shipping in Nigeria, held in Lagos, brought together a cross-section of maritime stakeholders. The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Gboyega Oyetola CON, opened the meeting with high commendation for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision to replicate the Lekki Deep Sea Port model in other locations across the country. He praised the initiative of bringing stakeholders together, stressing that the marine and blue economy sector has enormous potential that, if properly harnessed, will deliver immense benefits to the nation.
It is projected to contribute over $200 billion to government revenue over its concession period, with a reach extending beyond the borders to serve the Warren states. Yet, it currently operates at only 20% of its capacity, signaling vast untapped opportunities for investors, operators, and service providers. The success of Lekki offers a replicable model for trade and shipping growth in Nigeria. The port is built on 5 pillars, namely a strategic location with regional market access, a strong public-private partnership framework, integrated transport links by road, rail, and inland waterways, supportive policies and investment incentives, and technology-driven operations that deliver speed, transparency, and efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, this organization is committed to taking the lessons of Lekki and applying them nationwide to transform our entire port system into a network of modern, efficient, and competitive gateways. To this end, we are modernizing the Western Port in Apapa, upgrading the Eastern Port in Calabar, and rivers to stimulate balanced regional growth, and finalizing the port community system, integrated with the national single window to create a paperless, transparent, and secure digital environment for all maritime stakeholders.
The Executive Secretary and CEO of Nigerian Shippers Council, Dr. Pius Akuta MON, who was represented by Mr. Celestine Akujobi, the Director, Consumer Affairs Department, also lauded the initiative. In his own capacity, Mr. Akujobi spoke further with journalists, highlighting Shippers Council's role in trade facilitation and infrastructural development, particularly inland dry ports.
We want to make sure that in the midst of all this, that the cost of shipping, the cost of doing business at the port is not higher than what we have at other sub-regional ports. That's something that at the end of the day, the users of that Lekki port will be smiling, investors will equally be smiling. So what the situation where it will be a win-win situation for all, not just for the investors, but also to people who are using the ports. We don't want that the Lekki deep sea port be a port that the cost of doing business will be very, very high, which will now act as a disincentive to the shippers and other users. But the cost should be friendly. In terms of port costs too, their port costs should equally be friendly to attract shipping lines to patronize the port.
The President, Nigerian Chamber of Shipping, Alhaji Aminu Umar, emphasized that the Chamber's partnership with the Lekki Deep Sea Port was aimed at advancing the nation's economy.
The port, a landmark infrastructure in this country, particularly in Lagos Free Zone, has already demonstrated its potential as a regional hub supporting international trade, volumes and contributions to our economic growth. The Chamber is proud to stand alongside Lekki Deep Sea Port in this success story as we continue our mission to strengthen the shipping and trading ecosystem in this country. Honorable Minister, the Chambers has over the years played a key role in advancing maritime, oil and gas, whether through contributions in Cabotage Act regime, NIMASA Act, Oil and Gas Industry Content Act development, where we contribute in many of the policies that are there. As membership-based organization, we represent a broad spectrum of industry players. And our affiliation with the International Chamber of Shipping, as well as our leadership role across Africa, position us as a strong partner to government. With renewed collaboration and support, we can contribute even more meaningfully to capacity building, training, advocacy, to Nigerian aspiration, particularly at the International Maritime Organization.
The Managing Director and CEO of Lekki Deep Sea Port, Mr. Wang Yang, delivered a presentation on the port's operations and potential.
The Lekki Deep Sea Port model is a successful example of the public-private partnership initiative. The PPP is not ideology, it is a toolbox. When well implemented, it achieves three major things. First, mobilize capital and expertise. PPP initiatives reduce the pressure on the public funds as private investors raise capital through equity and debt from the international banks and institutions. The expertise brought in by private partners include technical know-how, world-class project management, operational efficiency, and the infusion of the innovation. Second, transfers performance risk to those best able to manage it. The private partners take on the construction risk of building the project to specification, on budget, and within schedule.
The Director General of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA), Dr. Dayo Muberola, represented by Engineer Adeyemi Fatai, Executive Director Operations, described the breakfast meeting as a laudable step towards transforming the nation's port sector.
What we witnessed firsthand was nothing short of outstanding. The scale, the ambition, and the technical sophistication of the port are all very, very impressive. It is clear that this innovation will not only transform our maritime landscape, but we also set a new benchmark for modern ports in the region.
Evacuation of cargo using barges was identified as a key factor for the port's operational efficiency by Honorable Bumi Olumekun, the President, Barge Operators Association of Nigeria.
We cannot be using the passenger boat to carry cargo. It's not done. We have to move out from there so that we can make use of barges that can take all this cargo from this. Let me just get brief to the barging industry in Nigeria. The barging industry in Nigeria did not just start now. They have started some years in 70s, in 60s, when we talk about the life of Omobeo from Ondo State to Lagos State, using torque to move timber from Ondo State to Lagos. We have the time of Marina ports, which is now Lagos ports. Then we use barge to convey some of our goods as they discharge from the vessel. We discharge to the smaller barge and we move it all over Nigeria. We've moved about 5 million cargo, like in and out of Papa. We've tried to see how we moved from there. Then we moved again from Warri to Lagos. We've moved from Odisha to Lagos. So all those things is what we've put in place.
Other stakeholders at the event also shared their perspectives.
The federal government should support that investment to enable us to attract more investors. We are talking of one in, I think, Cross River, and one somewhere in the west again, deep seaport. Somebody cannot make such an investment and then you will leave him to the weather. The LPMD mentioned about a sentence. Just one sentence can kill an investment in Nigeria. Why should it be that way? We should protect investors so that others can come.
In the port industry, what we think and talk about is volume. How many number of containers do you have in your country as of today? Because the underlying factor is trade facilitation for the port system. So we know it is important for us to ensure that Clarion Shipping and the Ocean Dragon operate successfully in the East. Because the more you get the containers into One and Calabar, the faster it gets to even Maiduguri and Chad. So this is the context here. Now, coming to Lekki Port, and then I'm still trying to tell you the importance of capital in our system. And because of that capital intensivity, for you to time it is a bit difficult. It took us 14 years of looking for money to build Lekki Port. The man is here, he can confirm. Until finally we were able to identify China or the Chinese to bring in $1.3 billion. So it will look small, but that is what has gotten us to where we are. And that is something that we went over the world looking for 14 years and we couldn't get it.
The government has released a national policy on marine and blue economy. And one of the highlights of that policy is that the revenue from the marine transport business is about $6 billion. Out of that $6 billion, 80% goes outside the country. Now, I haven't seen the numbers behind the $6 billion, but I'll bet that a big part of the $1.2 billion that is retained in Nigeria is oil and gas. So if you take away oil and gas, it means that we'll probably get less than $100 million coming in as revenue. All of that is going outside the country, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's appalling, it's abysmal. And what we want to do at NASIMA, after looking at that policy, how do we, as a nation, we can't compete with the international shipping companies, we basically don't want to do that. But how do we, as a nation, begin to put in place a framework to enable us to own vessels? End of story. It should be a national emergency.
We know that the world we live in today is driven by technology, and Nigeria, through the Nigerian Customs Service, is not left behind. We are aware of the great modernization efforts going on, the transition from NICES to the Unified Customs Management System called Gboyega. Gboyega is a system that is designed to simplify processes, to remove bottlenecks, and to ensure seamless integration. But like many new things, it usually comes with hitches, which is what we seem to be experiencing lately. But I must say that the service is unrelenting. Efforts are underway seriously to ensure that all those issues are resolved. And please take our assurance that all these things will soon be a thing of the past.
With yet another gathering of stakeholders, it is safe to say the Nigerian maritime industry is firmly on course to meet and possibly surpass expectations.
I can already picture it, the transformation of all Nigeria's seaports into world-class facilities like the Lekki Deep Sea Port. A dream, you may think, a vision, I say, and one we will surely revisit in the not-too-distant future. But for now, let's return to the present as we join Idowu Ogungbemi on our Tidbit segments.
Hello and welcome to the Tidbit segment of The Shipper. I am Idowu Ogungbemi and we've got some interesting stories and updates from the maritime sector. Stay glued and let's get started. The Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of Nigerian Shippers Council, Dr. Akuta Pius Emohen, has called for stakeholders' engagement to address the persistent rejection of Nigeria's export at the international market. Dr. Akuta made the call when the members of the Export Commodity Committee from the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment paid a courtesy visit to the NSC's headquarters in Lagos. He urged the committee to extend similar visits to other government agencies to foster collective efforts that would ensure Nigeria's exports gain wider recognition and acceptance globally. The NSC boss reiterated the need to address the poor quality of Nigeria's export produce, improper packaging, and other issues responsible for the rejection of the country's exports. According to him, the council has been facilitating the development of inland dry port projects across different locations in the country to serve as a hub for indigenous exports. These facilities, he said, bring shipping services closer to the shippers in the hinterlands.
We need to understand that it is critical for agencies of government within the same workspace to work together, not to create territories for themselves, but to work together in unity and in harmony to achieve the desired success. This sector, over the years, have been neglected, but this president has decided to give full attention to the sector.
While speaking with the council's correspondents, Mrs. Ajara Usman, the head of Commodities and Export Desk, Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment, lauded the pivotal role Nigerian Shippers Council has played towards the development of Nigeria's agro-exports. She noted that the Export Commodity Committee was established by the federal government to sanitize the country's export sector and that the visit was aimed at strengthening synergy with NSC towards achieving this mandate.
We are here in Shippers Council to seek for deepening of our collaboration in terms of agro-exports. And while we are here, we look at the Nigerian Shippers Council as very strategic when it comes to agro-commodity export. The ES/CEO spoke very well on areas we are to touch, how we are to, engage more with critical stakeholders in order to deliver Mr. President's drive on non-oil exports. Since the non-oil export is the direction of Mr. President, he has really advised us on what to do, of how we have to collaborate with other sister agencies that are very key to agro-export.
We encourage you to follow our social media pages at NG Shippers on Facebook, Instagram, X and YouTube for the latest updates, events and information. Let's take a look at our complaint register for the week. The Nigerian Shippers Council has received 5 complaints. While 3 of these complaints have been resolved, 2 are still ongoing investigation. The complaints include petition on the consignment of shipped items, mishandling of imported containers, restriction of shipment, alleged seizure of shipped goods, fraud and economic sabotage. We encourage stakeholders to visit our website at www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng for more information or to lodge their concerns. Now, let's talk about the international maritime sector. MV Tamarack, an eco-friendly cement carrier, arrived at the port of Montreal recently, completing its maiden transatlantic voyage and marking a major milestone in North American shipping. Owned by Urca Shipping, a joint venture between Cyprus-based SMT Shipping and Canada's CSL Group. The 122.9-meter-long vessel is said to be the first newly built cement carrier to enter service in the Great Lakes in 2 decades. Delivered at Holland Shipyard in the Netherlands in late July 2025, MV Tamarack made a brief stop in Montreal before proceeding to load its first cement cargo. Managed by CSL's Canadian division, Canada Steamship Lines, the 12,500 dual mechanical vessel replaces 2 older ships with a high-performance design that maintains the same cargo capacity while reducing environmental impact. In another development, a major boost in the modernization, the Port of Mombasa welcomed a shipment of 10 new rubber-tired gantry cranes specialized general cargo vessel that bettered at the port. The arrival of the cranes marks the authorities' equipment upgrade initiative aimed at enhancing operational efficiency, reducing cargo dwell times, and improving vessel turnaround times. The newly arrived RTGs are also equipped with hybrid engines, indicating KPA's commitment to promoting sustainable and environmentally friendly port operations. The RTGs are expected to complement the existing fleet and boost productivity. With a new equipment upgrade, the Port of Mombasa continues to increase its performance, firmly positioning itself as a leading trade hub in the region. That wraps up this week's segment of Tidbit on the Shipper. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more insights, trends, and key development from across the maritime industry. Until then, stay informed and stay safe.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Our journey for today has reached safe harbor, but the maritime conversation continues on all our social media handles at NG Shippers. Till we set sail again, may your week be full of opportunities and smooth sailings.